Greetings, I'm Caffeine Rage and I'm back with the Sunday Sampler. This week we're going to be taking a quick look at Gladiabots. This is a programming puzzle slash gladiatorial combat slash sports game. And this is self-published by GFX47, and as per usual this is a review copy, and I am recording this on the evening of August 11th. 2018 with alpha version 14.2 or just version 10, Windows version I should say, off itch.io. And since I am giving the date and my version number, even though you could see it right on the screen there, you should be able to tell this is an early access game. So Gladiabots, like I said, this is quite a few things because this is a puzzle game of a sorts. It's a programming game, but it's a sports game as well. And I will say that I think I'm on the version before the early access version because the early access is marked as a beta, but alpha is alpha, beta is beta. Sometimes it's a little hard to tell. It really depends on the individual programmer on what's alpha, what's beta. Or it could just be the same version with a relabel because, it's going on to Steam Early Access. I don't know the exact details there. I'm getting this through my itch.io press account. So there may be some subtle changes between this and the Steam version. But overall, I think I'm able to give at least my general impressions nonetheless. So, like I said, this is a programming game, and that's where a lot of the focus of this video is going to be on the AI editor. I am going to talk about the career mode and the campaign mode a little bit, but let's dive into the AI editor and show you what this game is really about, because this is about building out AIs for your bots, which is these four. And I have two assault classes and a sniper and a machine gunner right now. There is a shotgun class, which I could show you right here. Very fast, very agile, very fragile, but very devastating up close. I don't really care for them personally. Not saying that they're bad, it's just they require a little bit more programming than what I have been able to get around to just yet. So, going into the programming AI editor, this is a graphical programming editor where individual commands are shown by different pictures. So this is a very basic, this is actually a subroutine for my other AIs called Scorer. Care to guess what it does? This is essentially a kind of a soccer game, but not really. It's a when we get to the actual matches, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. But this is a very, very, very basic AI where the whole subroutine is based around scoring points. And all the AIs in this game, from the very basic there to some of my more crazy ones, this is a little bit more in depth for me. Not saying that it's the most advanced AI in the game, because it's definitely not, but they're all read in the same fashion where, let's go back to the score AI and zoom out a little bit. It's read in a counterclockwise progression where it starts at the 12 o'clock, sweeps around, and once it hits a top level command, in this case there's 3 of them, it'll check for if that command registers as true. If so, it carries out that command. So the first one up is it checks its shields. Is its shields low? Essentially 50%. It checks for 50 to 25 and 25 to 0. If so, it backs away from enemies. If that doesn't hold true, it looks for a resource to capture. Is it currently holding a resource to capture? If so, it does that. It starts heading towards the nearest AI base to score. If not, it goes to get a resource. If that fails, then the bot does nothing. But in this case, it's a subroutine, so if it gets to this point, usually the match is over. So let's just go to a more advanced AI, and I'll show you a little bit more in depth. And well, actually, let's go and start a new AI. Just test, just to show you the building of an AI, because it's very easy. This is just click and drag down, and it has 4 different sections. There's condition, which allows you to set a condition. I mean, it says it right on the tin, so it's able to see resource, distance from me, if there's a short range resource, condition, resource, or not, sorry. Then I select an action, resource, catch, closest resource. And then condition, resource, or no, keep doing that. Action, resource, score 2, closest ally base. Actually, those should be reversed, because it will read that, and then we'll read that, and then that. So this is a very, very basic subroutine, and this shows you just how quickly you're able to really just put down commands. So move towards enemy, condition, myself, if my shields are low, action, retreat from all enemies. And there's also these additional modifiers, so you're able to really go in depth. So if my target is currently attacking me, so move away from any enemies that are attacking this particular bot. It's very, very easy to pick up once you get the basic idea of some of the very basic routines and how everything is laid out. It's actually a very powerful AI builder. I'm really impressed with just how flexible it is. I've seen some interesting behaviors that I'm pretty sure are designed, by the way. And not just random chance by whoever built them, because this is based around multiplayer mostly. There is a campaign, like I said, but it's more of a puzzle / challenge mode. I would say the real meat is in the multiplayer, which we'll get to in a little bit, but because of how flexible this is, and I should say connectors are literally just essentially there to allow cleaning of the branches, because it could get a little bit muddled. I mean, you saw some of my more extreme ones, and this is the connectors allow to essentially just move branches down. So if I wanted to move this over, but there's not a lot of room, I could move that to there and connect them. Oh, I gotta remember it's that way and that way to be able to get more room. It's just literally that. And sub AI is literally just bring in a secondary AI, so bring in the score. So if nothing else is holding true, it goes to the score routine, which is this. Very, very interesting AI, or AI builder, I should say. That said, I would like to see some improvements on it. For one, you're essentially limited to the half of the area, because if I was to put something up here, resource, then you can see how it's trying to connect as if it's down here. I would like to see it either rotate, or if it's above the root level command, it instead connects to the bottom, which it can, because it's not designed like that. Be able to essentially make use of all the area. And considering some of the screenshots I've seen for some of the AIs, it is very much required. That said, it can be cleaned up by just running a bunch of different subroutines through other AIs. but it's not exactly a great way to do it, especially if there's a lot of conflicting commands. And also some other things. I would like to see proper notation tools be able to note, okay, this subroutine is the retreat AI. This subroutine is the capture or the scoring AI. But there's no way to do it outside of essentially just dropping a empty subroutine, which is not ideal. And also, I would like to see something like color coding as well. That would have been nice. Be able to color code this, for example, even though it is, color coded to a degree. To be able to have different behaviors in essentially their own little groups without having to resort to the AIs. And while I'm talking about, cleaning things up, be able to have it where instead of having to do something like this to make things a little bit cleaner, be able to essentially click and run it like a circuit board would also have been nice to make things a lot cleaner overall. Just minor quibbles. Everything is very functional right now, and it is in a early access beta, alpha, depending on which version you get, state. So there is a lot of room for improvement, but it is still a very good start for the AI builder. And I will at least walk you through one of my more advanced things. Striker Aggressive is an interesting one. So this is an example of an attacker with a score subroutine, where if the health, I should say the shields, because there's 2 health bars for each bot. It has a regenerating shield, but it also has a health bar. The health bar, non-replenishable. If the health hits 0, you, die, of course. I mean, that's usually what happens when health hits 0 in a video game. But the shields will regenerate, so this will attempt to retreat from any enemies that are attacking it whenever the shields are below half health. But it has a conditional here, where if the score advantage is to the enemy is more than 1, then, or actually equal to or more than 1, then it will try to take out any enemies that are carrying resources above all else. Granted, it will still retreat if it's damaged, but this becomes its primary target. But this shows you, how I'd like to do the color coding, is be able to even just have outlines, have outline of blue for this subroutine to make it a little bit clearer on what this is compared to this. Because all these are attack AIs, or AI commands, but they are very situational. Granted, the pictograms on these do show, target closest enemy that's carrying a resource in short, medium, or long range, and attacked by me. So this is basically telling the bot if it's been attacked, or if it's attacked the resource carrier after it's gone to short range, to be able to initiate the attack. Keep attacking until it's out of range. Very, very basic. This isn't a very advanced AI in general, but you can see where things can get a little crazy. So having proper notation, be able to have proper color coding, would make this a lot clearer. A minor quibble, but overall it's just something I wanted to highlight. So let's back out. Campaign mode is pretty much just a challenge mode. Like I said, I'll show you a couple of matches. This is halfway through the second chapter, and you're able to, pretty much do like you do in the base game, where you set up your bots and you just let it run. And you can see, you can click here to see ranges, but also shows the AI. So this allows you to be able to debug. So it's moving towards, it's in range, so it's starting to attack. It's seen this is lowest shield, so it's going to start targeting. This bot is a little confused about what's trying to do, so it gets taken out. You can see the different classes as well, so the machine gunners are a lot slower, but they're also a lot more durable, but they also are able to dish out a lot of firepower. So once again, there's this little thing where they're dancing back and forth. I'm not sure why it's doing that exactly, but now the sniper's down, or the last one up, sniper's in trouble. We'll fast forward. It's taken out. Now everybody decides, time to score, and we win. The the campaign mode is a set series of challenges. But once you get to the multiplayer, it's a little bit more random. And that's not just due to the fact that you're playing against other people through asynchronous multiplayer. And it's crossplay between both the PC version and the mobile version. It's also more random due to just how the arenas are built. We'll just do a couple of replays real quick. So let's replay this one. Take a look at how the arena is set up. Compare this to this. Completely different. The arenas, I'm not sure if they're completely procedural or if there's a set number of them. I'm not 100% certain on that. But the randomness of the arenas is a bit of a double-edged sword here, where it throws in enough variance where we'll just go ahead and start this match. It throws in enough variance where it shakes things up, but at the same time, it's a little hard to really predict on what to do. So for this match in particular, the enemy doing a more passive capture mode is going to pay off for a fair bit. Granted, the AI gets a little spooked and drops the resource, but it's the same idea. So I trade out my assault for one of their snipers. Now I'm down 2-0, but here comes my machine gunner chasing him off. But you can see how you couldn't really predict this because of how the randomness of the map shook things up. I would like to see there be some sort of general rules on how the maps are generated, where there's always at least a certain number of points, or the bases, which are these circles, are usually in certain locations to be able to try to fine-tune the strategy a little bit more, because it is a little random for my taste. And you can see I've backed these guys up against the wall, and I'm still up 3-2, about to be 3-1. And that's the enemy team taken care of, so we just fast forward and capture in victory. Granted, that was a replay, so that's my old team. Some things I would like to see is I can't really show it on this without doing some odd things with OBS because I don't have it set up for it, but the game has some very in-depth stats, but it's opened up in the web browser. Unfortunately, you're only able to see your own stats as far as I could tell, which is a little disappointing, especially considering, you could go in, or I would like to go in and see other people's stats, how they do overall. Also, I would like to see some sort of rematch function. Maybe have it be an unranked game that doesn't affect your ranking at all, which the unranked games are a little bit of an odd duck to begin with, which we'll get to in a moment. But be able to try to counter the team, even if it's just for player levels and not for the overall ranking. would have been something I would have liked to see. And of course, friends list and, basic functionality, but then again, this is an alpha, so I can understand why that's not there. But I think the big one for me would be, a rematch function to be able to try to figure out, okay, how do I take down this particular team? Granted, because of the variance with the different maps, I'm not sure if there's a best overall strategy without doing some heavy editing on your AI to have a lot of conditional functions, which that is possible. You're able to set up a lot of different functions in the AI manager, so it is probably possible to have a catch-22 AI, but it would be a little bit beyond my scope. So let's just go ahead and do a new ranked match with my 2 aggressive strikers, my assassin sniper, and the heavy striker. We'll see how we do. Create a match, join, deploying, downloading the match. So this guy is slightly below my rank, but he's also made his bots pretty, so no, that's the standard color, sorry. So let's see how we do. You can see how their shotgunner tries to run off. Oh, and he's immediately capturing. His bots are set to do a lot more. Or a lot more aggressive. Or I should say they're a lot more suicidal. They don't try to back off till they're a lot more or a lot lower health, which could work out for me. So his machine gunner's backing off. And now my sniper's moving up to try to get a shot. I'm in actually a really good spot. Even though that shotgunner is a little dangerous. Oh. My guys are playing a little aggressive. You see how they're dancing around a little bit because of this AI routine. Oh, he really wants to get the ball. But he's being chased down. I'm really like how the AI's combat. I'm not controlling this at all. Everything is through all the scripting that I did. So you can see how my sniper's slowly chasing down the shotgunner. And how there's this little battle over here and there's this battle over here. Oh, we got one down. That was their machine gunner. So things are starting to turn against them. And their sniper is in some serious trouble. So the shotgunner doesn't know what to do, and he's going to be slowly danced in the corner, and this one is slowly getting danced into a corner. So we'll fast forward a little bit. Oh. And that's victory. Oh. And that gives me some points to go towards my customization, which I didn't really talk about just yet. And there's a reason for that, because damn. So team setup, let's go into customization. Look at the prices on this. 3,000 for patterns, 5,000 for patterned colors. I only have 2,800, and this is after 2-3 hours of matchmaking. And this is a holdover from the mobile version, at least in this version, I should say. The mobile version is a free-to-play app, which has its monetization based through a shortcut to get customization. Well, the PC version, based on everything I could tell by poking around on the mobile version a little bit, has the same progression curve for customization, but there's no fast track short of buying the DLC on Steam, which you're already buying the game for $14.99 or 10% off till August 16th for $13.49. So you're spending another, I think it was $10, $10 for the customization points when you're already buying the game. So the PC tax is just absolutely massive on this. Granted, it is just these points for customization, so it could be viewed as supporting the dev, but at the same time, it is a very, very hefty PC tax. And you're still dealing with the mobile grind wall to get all your pretty colors. So that's probably the most galling thing about the game, to be perfectly honest. It's very tough to rationalize it being that expensive and not having any boost because of it. If there was some sort of multiplier that said, well, if you're playing on the PC version, you're getting a 1.5, a 2 times multiplier on this, that'd be a little bit easier to swallow than just, well, you're on the same progression path as the mobile version. Granted, I realize it's all colors, it's all just pretty things, but that's the way modern PC gaming is or I should say modern gaming is that the monetization is through all of the customization, and there's a certain expectation these days of an amount of customization. So having that held back is a little much to me. But let's I do want to show the that's the campaign, the career. The unranked mode is actually pretty interesting because there's different versions. And this may be leading in towards what the ranked mode may end up being. They talk about more game modes in the early access blue box. So there's a possibility that some of these may end up being on the actual ranked mode. So, just the split team, for example. Let's do that. And it gives us a 5th bot. So we'll edit you, have you be another striker aggressive, and go. Create the match. We're going to grab another team from online. And I am on the red, so that shotgun doesn't like to be looked at. So my sniper just took out him, and his sniper's in a bad spot. That shotgunner is not having a good day. Yeah, I'm just, watching some of these matches it's just fascinating to me. What can I say? Oh. You can see how the shields regenerate pretty quickly if you don't take damage. And there's the machine gunner spooling up. I think we may have gotten this one. So far, I haven't lost anybody. Wow, look at the shotgunner just dance. Dance, boy, dance. And into the corner with you. So I ranked up. I reached level 7, which gave me an extra 100 points. Which, goes a long way towards getting all that customization. Yeah, a long way. Oh, and also all these colors are individually bought. So I bought the red here just to test it out. I'd have to buy another $1,000 or 1,000 point red if I wanted to have the this, or, you know, if I wanted blue. Thankfully, they throw in all the hues for free, so, you know, I got that going for me, which is nice. But, you know, if I wanted to have these, that is also 5,000. So if I wanted to have my entire bot be camo, instead of, you know, having that stand out, that's 10,000 already. And I'm not even onto that or that. And the DLC that gives the extra points only gives 30,000 if I recall correctly. Well, right there's 20,000. I mean, that's literally one color set. And that's not even throwing in, you know, if I wanted to have it be, you know, purple or, you know, blue. Or if we really want to be crazy, there's the shuffle all. So 27,000, 23,000, 27,000, 24. I mean, some of these are just hideous, but, you know, it gives you an idea of just how damn expensive this is. You know, somewhere between 19 and 27 looks to be the, you know, the range, which 19 isn't very, you know, unlikely, or isn't very likely, I should say. Yeah, it's a bit much, isn't it? It definitely feels like the mobile progression, doesn't it? Maybe they'll change that at some point. It's just absurd. So I think we're pretty much done here, though. There's not a lot more to talk about here. And, well, it doesn't feel like I've been talking about this game for a half an hour, but my timer says otherwise. So, as always, constructive feedback is greatly appreciated, either in the comments below, or if you don't really have anything to say but want to let me know that you enjoyed and or hated this. And I should say there is a tournament mode to join as well, but it requires a third party site, and it's not that great right now, I should say. It's implementation. Not to say that there's, you know, not improvement in the future, because there definitely is, but yeah. But yeah, constructive feedback is greatly appreciated, either in the comments below, or if you don't really have anything to say, but want to let me know that you've enjoyed and or hated this, yeah, I'll just put on a match so you have something to watch. If you enjoyed and or hated this, the appropriate buttons are there, and subscribe if you see more of the Sunday Sampler or my other content. As always, thank you for watching, and as the shotgunner dances in the dances around because it doesn't like being looked at, I'll say thank you for watching, and we'll be back to sample something again next time. I mean, let's be fair, you already saw that I won this, so do you really need to see the entire match? Especially when I've already killed one of them? No, I don't think so. Bye-bye.